Hello everyone, here we are on Tuesday the 23rd of June and you can see it's been a while since I was last able to do a video where we did this bowl of flowers, but you can see that everything since has been, you know, fairly simple, fairly straightforward, mostly straight stitch and running stitch, straight stitch and running stitch. This is wavy rows of blanket stitch, which is really effective actually in a space dyed or variegated thread, some back stitch and detached chain, and then for the longest day, the summer solstice, nice big shiny yellow sunshine. And today I'm ready to do my daily stitching with some fine silk. It's red, and I think I'm using a quilter's needle, probably. Just a needle that fits the thread, and unfortunately for me, we're at the start of another heat wave here in the UK, so I'm just that's the reason I'm using red. And you'll recall I don't tolerate the heat very well, and generally in the UK we're not used to these sorts of temperatures, but I guess it's going to become more frequent with climate change and global warming and all that. Better get used to it, eh? So you can see I've just done an arc of straight stitches there, and I think probably what I'm going to do is run that thread back through those stitches. If I can do it without getting caught on something. And then I think we might do probably a little row of running stitch. And I am just making this up as usual, because it doesn't matter what you stitch. The important thing is just sitting down with some quiet, gentle stitching, just for a little moment of mindfulness and peace, really. So I think what we might do now is some more straight stitch. And when it's this hot, I don't want to do anything too complicated, because frankly it's an effort to stay upright. I'm exaggerating. I really don't like the heat. Come and talk to me in winter, I'll be much happier. How are you managing the heat? If you're in the UK, how are you coping with it? Because mostly we don't have air conditioning here, so there is no getting away from it. You know, our houses are meant to hang on to the heat because we're used to it being cold and wet. So we have our houses insulated to keep the heat in. On days like this, it becomes quite difficult. So how are you dealing with it? Do you like the heat? Do you like the summer? If you're in a country where it's 30, 40 degrees normally, how on earth do you manage? I guess you have air conditioning. And again, just while I've been chatting about nothing really, that other little line's just happened. So I've kind of established a pattern now, so I'm just going to repeat it to fill the space. And I may not fill the space because I quite like that empty corner there. So when I get up to here, I may well leave another empty corner there. Let's see. So let's talk about the break I had last week. I was looking forward to doing all kinds of relaxing things, and unfortunately there was a family crisis that I had to deal with, and I'm still dealing with it. Everybody's fine, but there is suddenly a lot to do and a lot to organise, and most of it is quite hard. So it's another good reason to sit down and do some quiet stitching, just to be able to stop thinking about all the things that need doing. And you can see this is just straight stitch. And if you're doing it side to side like this, you do need to be a little bit careful with the tension. I don't know if you can see, I've got the work supported on a table and I'm just using the hand on the back just to keep this section taut. So I've got a finger right under here. To keep this bit I'm working on from collapsing on itself and crumpling. So you can use your other hand, the hand that isn't doing the stitching, the hand that's underneath, to just steady the fabric and keep the bit you're working on fairly taut, and that should enable you to do a nice row of stitches that doesn't pull. I'm just going to get some more thread. Right, just got another needle full here, so I'm just going to do the same thing, just run this thread underneath these stitches. Under the stitches, but on the surface of the cloth. And it should just find its own path through those stitches. And then, to keep the pattern consistent, it's another line of running stitch. So in terms of how and when I'll be able to post videos depends very much on what I have to deal with. So the best thing to do to kind of stay in the loop, stay up to date, if you don't already, you might think about subscribing to my blog, because that's where I put all the updates and information about, you know, shop opening and closing and general availability. So that's stitchinglife.uk. You put that into your search engine, it should just take you there. Plus you get to see, you know, everything I'm working on when I get the time. There isn't much of us at the moment, but you know, things will settle down. Everything's, well, most things are temporary, aren't they? Very few things last forever. And I think this is probably the last line of straight stitches I'm going to do, because you know, I might leave a gap in that corner, and coincidentally it looks quite balanced because I'm ending with the same line of pattern that I started with. So I'm just going to finish this row of straight stitches, thread them, and that will be it. So there may be a few more days of red and orange. We'll just have to see how hot it gets. I mean, thankfully, at least I live in a part of the UK that isn't in the, well, not currently, in the red heat warning area. Met Office hardly ever issues red warnings for weather, but parts of the UK have one. If you're in it, I hope you're doing okay. Just through that last one. And down. And I think that will do. I think I'm going to call that finished. I quite like it. Very simple, but there we are. So that's the 23rd of June, and I will be back when I can. If I'm absent, don't worry. Everybody's fine. It's just that I may have to be somewhere else for a while. So enjoy your stitching today. Stay cool, and hope I'll see you soon. Bye for now.